Welcome, everyone, to episode 413 of Just Joshing. I'm Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff in podcast 2, and today I continue with my conversation with Virginia Carraway Stark. Not to worry, this one's a lot happier. We get away from the COVID stuff in this episode, and we actually have more of a regular chat from here on in. It's just been that kind of year, that kind of crazy. Such is life. You know what I mean? But I always love having Virginia on the show. She's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun for the rest of this time here. So I think we're just going to get to that conversation. I'll talk a little bit more afterwards, everything going on. But for now, let's just get to that conversation, shall we?
This episode of Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint supports creators by creators. Whether you are writing a book or creating a video game, Indie Imprint works with its clients to produce, edit, and present their projects to the world. For more information, check out their website at www.indieimprint.com.
Well, see, I kind of look at it like this. I look at it this is my honest outlook about this, what's going on now. I'm more worried about living than dying. Honestly, I know.
Most people are.
I wonder about that sometimes. I wonder about that sometimes. I think.
We should make a poll.
Yeah.
We should ask people.
Yeah. What scares you more, living or dying? Yeah. I mean, because I think.
I would be really curious to know the answer to that.
Yeah. It's because I'm at that point. I made my own peace with death a long time ago. Right.
I think a lot of people have. I think living in this world, it's like a hell dimension here.
Yeah, I know.
And I think most people have a sense in their heart we came from a better place, and this reality isn't normal. There should be something better.
Yes, the inevitable spiritual struggle there.
Yeah, how did we get here? What are we doing here? I don't know. Let's make the best of it while we're here, and hopefully when we die, there's something better over the horizon, because this is weird.
I tend to see, I had a really interesting thought a long time ago. I read from, I think it was, what was his name? Mark Bell, I think? No, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, he had this really good thought. He wrote the book called Velvet Elvis, and it's in there, and it's a really good thought. If you believe in God, or any kind of spiritual, or in any case, for the purpose of this discussion, anybody that believes in a higher power, you believe that there's more to life. If you don't believe in any kind of higher power, or you believe that this is all there is. So I think the inevitable thing, I think all of us realize at some point, and I think this is the good thing about going through this. There's more to life than just existing. And I'm already thinking next year, when this is a little bit more normalized, not necessarily this weird hell on earth, but the fact that there's going to be some degree of normal finding its way into life again at that point. I'm already looking at what I want to do next. I've been freelancing, like I said, for the last few months. I no longer have any desire to work for people, and I'm too old. I got more important shit to do. You sound like I'm laughing, but it's the truth.
It's too old.
No, I'm serious. I'm too old. I realize I just did some temp work for a company, and the best thing I loved about that was I knew the job was going to come to an end. I don't have it in me anymore. I just don't. I have become very much my own person, and because I've become very much my own person, I don't have the ability. I don't have the ability to play. I don't have the ability to play nice as much as I just don't have it in me anymore. I'm gonna do what I want, and I know what I want.
The politics and the games and all the.
I don't want to do it anymore. It's a waste of time. Most of it's a waste of time. Like especially since I realized that most of us aren't going to retire.
That's hard. I realize that too. There is no
Oh yeah. So when I left my job, I took my pension, and I am trying to lock it down into a lira. I gave them the paperwork well before the deadline, but they haven't done anything because there's a freeze right now. There's a freeze because of the COVID. But when sooner or later, I'm going to be contacting them tomorrow. I'm going to see what's going on there, just to check and see what's going on up. And I'm going to be looking at the fact that my retirement's going to grow on its own. I got it out before it hit, right? So I'm out before anything goes. But I also recognize, like, I got to do other things for the rest of my life, and I realize there's nothing guaranteed. So I can spend the rest of my life doing something I can't stand for somebody, or I can just do what I want to do and say fuck it. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, you know what? I don't need to do this for anybody anymore. I've done what I'm supposed to do, and let's now go and try and make something I want to be who I want to be. That's all I really care about. Like, honest to God, I mean, I have my own little sense of trauma from this, I'm sure, but to be perfectly blunt, I don't really think about it. I mean, if worst came to happen, it's over. And if the worst doesn't come to happen, well, I got a whole life left to live and things to do. And that's all I care about right now. I am in a very fortunate position where it's just like, I don't lose anything. I'm the man with nothing, literally. And there's a lot of freedom in that. And I don't have to play anyone's games. I don't need to.
I have a friend and she's 93. And she's in a home. So she's allowed to leave, but she's not allowed to have visitors in. And she said that she really doesn't care if she gets killed by COVID-19, that she wants visitors because she doesn't have time.
Yeah.
That,
this is it.
Yeah, like, she's 93 years old. She has a daughter in her 70s.
Yeah.
Like, think of that.
Yeah.
She has a daughter who is in her 70s. Like, most people are lucky to make it to her 70s. She has a daughter in her 70s.
Well, yeah, you get to that, like you get to a certain point in your life, you just don't give a shit anymore. Like what? Like, seriously, if something were to happen to her, like, would she notice? Even her daughter at 70 years old.
And she's like, okay, this 90-some-year-old woman, she's locked up in her room. I mean, she can leave, but she has to leave through the side door. She is delivered food to her room that's cold and gross and, like, sometimes pretty much inedible. And she used to be given fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and good nutrition. One night, I bring her food that she can keep. And one day, she sent me a message through Instant Messenger and said, I just had the ice cream you gave me for dinner because I can't eat the food they feed me. And, like, what sort of bullshit is that?
Like I said, it kills the whole credibility of everything going on right now, because if you're not giving a shit about people, right? And this is the thing, right? And so some people go, well, why is the mask an issue? It's not the mask. It's how we've done this so far. It hasn't been good. So, and the 93-year-old woman, I don't blame her. Like, shit, if I was 93, you know what I would be doing? I'd be surfing on a beach. I would literally have no fucks to give, because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
We're having her over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Like, I am not seeing her have Thanksgiving or Christmas alone.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, she can't spend it with her family. Her family's in America.
Yeah.
She's got dual citizenship. Her family's all in America. Like, I can't bring everyone from the home here. And unfortunately, most of the people I do know there are on the 3rd or 4th floor. It's really hard to visit most of them. She's luckily on the bottom floor, so I can just go over there and I can sit on the balcony, like on her front step with her and visit. But when I go there, people will see that I'm there. I will have like 16, 20 people come and visit with me.
Yeah.
And I will all the things that they're not being fed, they're not being tended, their medical needs are not being met. And
Yep.
these are healthy people.
Yes.
These are not people who are stranded in a bed. Can you imagine what's happening to the people stranded in beds?
I don't need to imagine. I know what would happen to those people stranded in beds. They're not.
They die.
Yeah, they're not here. They're not here
Like
anymore.
they were, like their bodies, like they were put in a shed, and they lied to us and they said they were put in storage. But in America, the actual story came out. They were put in a garden shed, and that's the truth. You want to talk depressing?
Mm-hmm.
Like gross. And that's how we treat our old in Canada.
We're just as bad. I mean that's the honest truth. Like look, we're letting our young, we're risking our young, we're mistreating our old. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, there's a lot going on right now that's wrong. Some of it's necessary. Some of it's necessary, but a lot of it's wrong. And that's why, that's, again, going back to something we talked about, like, why is all of this a political issue? Because people aren't stupid. They know when they're not being treated right.
Well, I mean, that's a big reason why I dived back writing. I really got into the collaborative writing because I want to encourage other people to write. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people said they're too depressed to write. And so the Arkella Treaty was something that was sitting on the back burner for a long time. But it's something incredibly pertinent to right now because it's about 2 planets. And there used to be 3 planets, but the 3rd planet was in the middle and it got destroyed. So the 3rd planet's been blown up.
Okay.
There's 2 planets. Both people on both planets are related to each other, but the one planet is like a tropical paradise and they have no technology. The other planet, they're like technological planets wrecked, living underground, making trips to the tropical planet, kidnapping them, doing genetic experiments, stealing their water, treating them like crap. Just genetically diverse enough that they can take them away and feel like they're better than them. And I picked up the book after having set it down for quite a while, and I was like, this is the perfect book to finish now. This is like how we're acting, is all these people sitting around saying, I am in a slightly better position than this person, but I have needs and I need this right now, so I'm just going to take it because it's my right.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really good book to put into completion right now. So that's why I decided, let's finish this one and get on to part 2 with that. And
So you
people have always talk about that.
So I wrote Spanish soap opera. That was one of my early freelance gigs. I ended up doing Spanish soap opera for Prose Press. I was given an outline for a character, and I thought the main character was could be interesting. Her side characters were not so interesting. So my first story was to essentially I eliminated all but one of her side characters. One of them is like I can't right, and replaced her with a much more more interesting dynamic going forward. I gave her a villain. I gave her a villain. I gave her a love interest. I kept the manager because it made sense for the story. So I created this slice of life, pursue your dreams, but also dealing with the shady criminal underworld at the same time, and just like something really fun, simple. I'm writing right now. I released the book. I released my first novel. I got another book coming out August 21st. I have my 3rd book. I'm going to hopefully have out before the end of the year. We're going to see how that all works out. But my main character is killing a dragon. Basically, I'm keeping it adventurous, just because I think right now.
Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, the world's always going to be on fire somewhere. and you just gotta knuckle down and go, okay, well, what do you want? What do you care about right now? And worry about that.
Yeah, and people have to realize that there were times that were a lot worse than this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people don't. A lot of people are preaching the end of the world and stuff, but there were times that were worse, and that's why I also try to keep the mood a little bit light. And if you listen to the little extract from the Arkellen Treaty, it is quite funny. It is quite
I will be looking forward to it. So this, by the time this airs, ladies and gentlemen, this will be a long read, but it will be episode 401 in the archives. She literally is the episode after my milestone. One of the
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I've been kind of depressing tonight. I'm really, really sorry.
It's okay. The other piece I'm doing is literally called a puff piece.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a puff piece. It's been in the works for ages. And it's about my friend Beth. She's Beth Hope now. She was Beth Howe for a long time, but now she's Beth Hope. And it's about her cat named Puff. So it is a puff piece. And
literally, I love it.
Puff is kind of like Grumpy Cat. She's got tons of followers, and Beth contacted me and said, could you give Puff a voice? Could you make her talk? So, unfortunately, after she contacted me, a bunch of crap went down for me in life, as will happen. But, I could think of no better time than now than to literally put out a puff piece.
That's right. I kind of see a melancholy Garfield-esque kind of voice there.
A little, yeah. It's a real cat, so she's a really funny character. She gets into food. She is a little Garfield-y that way. I sent you a picture of what the cat looks like. It's the one that she's in the cup of tea.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was funny.
And she's got a long-distance relationship with a boyfriend named Miles. And this is all real. This is not my interpretation. This is the cat.
This is awesome.
The cat loves Christmas, loves pancake batter.
Everybody likes pancake batter. I can't argue with the cat though.
Cover itself with pancake batter.
So hey, listen, I'm a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little bit of jealousy there, because as strange as it sounds, it's a really simple pleasure. Hey, listen, I'm getting to roll around in something that's relatively tasty and have a good time, because pancake batter is.
I dare you.
I will.
I dare you to put pancake batter on your head and post it on Facebook.
Sure. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. This is what I'll do.
Okay, I want you to tag me in it.
Okay, so no, I gotta figure out when I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you my word. We're gonna figure this out right now. And that's so. Okay, let's see.
Call it the puff batter challenge.
Okay. So. Oh, by the way, if I went, so this is how this could work. I could be finding out this month whether I have to wear a tutu. Cause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm a finalist for the Aurora again for the third year in a row. If I win, yeah. So if I win it.
Try for a BOFA too.
A BOFA?
Birds of a Feather Award.
Okay.
It's an essay one. I'll send you the
sure.
criteria for it.
Sure.
They're beautiful awards. Marshall Mathers won one.
Cool.
He won the Poetry Award one the year before I did.
Cool. So you're in the same crowd, so yes. Yeah, thumbs up on that one. That's actually really cool. No, it's cool. No, I gotta tell you this tutu story because it's very important. So,
okay.
last year I was in Ottawa. I was a finalist again. I was competing against Ed Willett. Damn him, he has a good podcast too. There's no doubt about it. And so I'm competing against Ed Willett's podcast.
Okay.
And Pat Felling makes me a deal. She goes to me, if you win again, you must rest in the tutu. I said yes. I said yes. I did not win. I was like, phew, I'm off the hook. It's like, no, I'm not, because I actually didn't commit to a date. So if I win, I have to wear a tutu. Now, since COVID happened, I had to ask Pat on this. What I might actually end up doing is I could wear a tutu on Zoom, or I can choose to wear a tutu at a convention. And what I could do is make a contest with all the conventions between CanCon, Windwards Collide, and Vancouver's Creative Inc. and say, okay, here are the rules. I will show up to fulfill my bet to Pat Flelling. But I'm going to choose, the con I choose is, drum roll please, something, right? And that's kind of where I.
You could do Rycon because it's the online convention that I'm doing.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna figure out what to do there because yeah. So going back to that pancake batter thing. This month is this month I got a book to launch. I got presentations to make, and I might have to wear a tutu somewhere in this month somehow, some way.
I can share you a link. I have this tutu.
Okay.
It's not very expensive, but it's got LEDs in it. It is freaking awesome.
So you gotta send it to Pat Flelling because I made the deal. The deal is with Pat. Pat, it gets to, you send it to Pat. Pat gets final say. If Pat says yes, I have to wear it. That's just how it works. Right? All right. That's it. I laugh because I'm like, you might win another award. I think at some point I will. But the thing about it is, it's one of those situations in life where you look at it and go, you gotta have some fun with it, right? So tutu.
I'm not sure that I'm friends with him, so I'll have to look him up.
Her.
Oh, her. Okay, so I'll have to look her up and see. Yeah.
I call her Sarcastica. She's fun. She's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But
otherwise, I'll send her a message and be like, hey, you have to friend me because we got to talk tutu design here.
Yeah, she'll be like, oh wait, just mention me. She's like, excellent. Like, yeah, literally, I made that deal, and I was in Ottawa, and I made some really good friends. I made some good friends while I was in Ottawa, and they were like, okay, so you win the award, basically. Yeah, it's like the only thing I'm gonna ask is give me a minute to bask in the award before you make me put the tutu on. Right? That's give me a minute. It's like yes. And then stop me from running out the door. And but no, I'm a man of my word. And so I'll do the pancake thing. I'll do it. I just gotta figure out how and when's the right ambiance to do it.
Yeah, the right moment. What we're doing is for the BOFA Awards, but BOFA Awards is redundant because it's the Birds of a Feather Awards. But what we're doing is the guy who started them, he died.
Okay.
So they missed 2 years. So we had to get permission to essentially get copyright for them.
Okay.
And to start them up again and stuff. So we're just getting the website and stuff going again.
Okay.
But in November, what we're doing is we're having a Rycon retreat.
Okay.
And we're walking everyone through the BOFA essays and how you nominate people, including yourself.
Okay.
So that might be a good time
Sure.
to do the pancake batter.
Okay.
Because you could, I think we're doing it 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're offering a bit of support for NaNoWriMo. We're doing a bit of this, a bit of that. But it's more like a writing retreat than a convention.
Okay.
So, invite all your friends. Everyone can come, learn about the BOFAs, learn about Rycon, learn what we're doing with it, and just have fun.
All right.
We're doing interviews with people so everyone can talk about what their newest thing is. Are they launching something? Are they working on stuff? Just, way to make new connections. connections, reach out and talk about what you're up to.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nothing commercial. It's just a way to connect.
All right, so I'm gonna.
And a great time to put pancake batter on your head.
Okay. I will
So
put Rycon. Okay, we can make something happen for Rycon. I'll get the pancake batter for my head for Rycon. I keep making these promises to put myself in silly situations. I wonder what it says about.
You wanted it, man. You wanted it, so you were jealous of the cat.
I was. Hey, listen, simple pleasures, man. Life's all about simple pleasures. You know.
It is.
Right, you know, there's something to be learned, like you know, like one of my favorite things about, well, see, I'm getting used to summer here, because I haven't been in the heat, like, I've been in the heat, but not the humidity, like I've been in this is the first time in a long time I've been in the humidity, and, so, I'm like, man, I forgot why this was so terrible. Now I remember exactly, but the winter's coming here, so the winters aren't cold here. I've been in Calgary for 10 years, it's not gonna hit me the same way. You know, it's just, I'm just gonna laugh at people. I'll be wearing nothing. They'll be like, "You're a freak." I lived in Calgary. You can't like the only place I'm gonna suit up is Winnipeg, and the Winnipeg people will call me wimps too. But I mean that's the only people that can call me them. And so, anyway, snow angels, man. Snow angels are one of the simplest, easiest way. Like, you gotta take the little pleasures in life. You really, really, really do at some level. And so I look at that, your cat with like rolling around in dough. It's like that's the simple pleasure, right? It's just like, you know what? This feels good. I like it. People do all kinds of wonderfully strange things to each other for just a simple pleasure in life thing. You don't fight it. You just embrace it. Embrace your inner pancake mix.
Exactly. And then we'll find a way to put you in for the second book for it.
Okay.
Because the puff piece is the first book, so we'll find a way to put your picture of the batter on the head in the second book.
Okay, sure. We can do that. Okay, so I've had a question about you, because you are an incredibly talented person. No doubt about this. But I feel, here's what I've been feeling, because I've been watching your work for a bit, and just seeing what you're doing, and I realize like you've been through a lot lately as well, so I know that's part of the answer. But it seems to me like I almost feel like you've been holding back for a while.
And part of it was getting smushed by a minivan.
Part of it. I don't feel that's entirely it, though. I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not saying the minivan did not have an impact on you, but it
had a literal impact.
Yeah, literally. No, I'm not disputing this even slightly. But I've had this impression for the last little bit with you that at least some of the stifling has been deliberate. And I've been curious. I'm not saying all of it, but there is a little bit. I almost sense it with you. I'm not gonna say reluctance exactly, although that isn't, I think, that far off the mark.
I've been doing a lot of stuff, kind of just for me. Like, I've been doing a lot of stuff and not putting it out there. I've just been doing a lot of stuff and keeping it. I'll publish it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I think at some point I realized that I was doing a lot of writing for people.
Okay.
And I had started off doing writing for me.
Okay.
And then I had changed my trajectory and I had been writing for an audience. And that wasn't what I wanted anything to be, like my writing or any of my creativity. And not to say that I will never write for an audience, but that's not what I want to be about.
I get that. I get that. I made a very deliberate strategy with my digital, like my books. All 3 series I'm launching are books I could write for a long time. The reason I chose that, because if any one of them picks up, I know the thing, you're gonna have to write more of them. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Right.
I think too is that I don't really want fame.
I understand that. Fame's pain in the ass.
And if I do too much, you're right. I am quite talented, and I wouldn't go just so far as to say I fear success, but it's
okay if you.
real pain, and it's good not to. It's good to withdraw after a point. To just work on you.
It's entirely your decision. Like I'm becoming more famous. I've noticed this. So the pandemic when it started, I had 1,200 friends. If you look at my friend count, it's jumped, and they're all real. I don't know how it happened. I really don't. It just one day I started waking up, and every day I'd see 3 or 4 friend requests. I'm like, okay, cool, because I have this, and now I'm at 1,661 friends right now. I'm like, how did this happen? I had like 1,200. It took me forever to get there, and then now it's like, it's starting to move. And I realized that if I'm going to continue down this path, I'm going to have to deal with fame. Right? I'm going to have to deal with fame. My privacy is going to be valuable. It's going to be less of it.
You become a person of note, and you have to decide if you want that or not.
Yeah.
So,
and everybody has their own answer to that, right? And I don't knock anyone who says I don't want it. Like the cool thing about writing is you can to some degree avoid some of the pressures of fame. Not completely, but you can avoid some of it. You just have to you have to just expect that there comes a point. Fame only has one good use. Fame can make you more money. That's the big thing about fame. But that's
some people are fame monsters though. Like
it can grow that way. It does I've talked to Jonas Saul a few times, and one of the things he told me is, and he's very smart about this, he goes, honestly, the more successful you become, the bigger your ego becomes. The trick, he goes, is knowing when to stroke your ego and when not to. And believe me, I stroke it quite a bit. But right, but I mean, he's being honest, right? He's being really, really honest about that.
No, it's cool.
Right. He's being really honest about that, right? You recognize, he's a very humble guy when you talk to him, but I mean, he's not. You're not. You lose that humility somewhat because you have to. Look. If I get to the point that I really want to get to, I'm going to lose some of that humility. It's reality. I've accomplished shit, right?
It'd be false humility.
Yeah. I mean, there is some being thankful for it keep you humble to some degree. But when you get right down to it, it's even now, I'm like, no, I'm the shit. Some days are some days I don't know what to do, but there are other days when it's no, I'm the goddamn captain. That's just the way it is. And I have that ego now, and I've earned it to some degree, right? And
you've earned it. You've worked hard for it. It's not to some degree. You've worked hard for it.
Yeah. Never believe your own press. Just this.
You've worked hard for
Oh no, I'm not saying I don't. I just never fully believe my own press. It's just a good idea not to. But the point I'm getting at is you lose that humility somewhat, and to some degree, I mean, look, fame comes with some fame. The thing about fame is you lose freedom. You do lose some freedom because you don't have the same degree of privacy. I don't ever want the fame that, say, Stephen King has. I feel that would be a nightmare. There's a reason he lives reclusively. It's not necessarily because he wants to live reclusively. He doesn't really have a good choice. It's either he lives reclusively or he's never left alone. There are people that follow him no matter what.
And the thing is, okay, you look at life and it's what makes you happy?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm really happy with the water. I'm really happy going swimming in the lake. I'm happy with the garden. I love animals. Does fame give
It's fair.
Fame makes people look at you. Fame makes people attracted to you.
Yes.
I'm not gonna. I already have that.
Yeah.
People already treat me that way. If I want to draw eyes when I walk into a room, I can do that. I don't need that fix.
No, I get it. You've gotten the other way. You've had it for so long. It's like meh. Yeah, it's like meh. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do me any good. No, that's the thing. Like, I don't think you.
And then on the other hand, too, I checked off. I got into several books, and it was stupid. It was like part of a little anthology, and it wasn't even something I was particularly proud of that I wrote. It was like 5 different things too, but they topped the international best-selling list on Amazon in like multiple countries. So
cool.
I can, I mean, like, cool, but I can say I am a multiple international best-selling author, multiple award-winning, screenwriter with multiple award nominations for those. So it's like, well, that didn't make me happy. What's gonna make me happy?
The awards won't make you happy.
Like, what do I need to make me happy?
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. So I mean, everybody has their own answer. For me, I know I'm going to be tempted a little bit when I get to fame, like more fame, because I'm going to have access to things I never would have dreamed were possible. I get the feeling that when the door really opens for me, it's really going to open, right? It's either never going to open or it's really going to open. It's going to be one or the other for me, right? If it really opens, I'll be tempted with some things, I'm sure. That's life, right? I'll do some things I'll probably regret later. That's also part of life as well. But at the same token, I think what I dread more than anything else, I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point where I really crave the fame, right? I think I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to get sick of the fame at some point. I'm just not going to give a shit about it the same way. And that's interesting, because once you get it, you never completely lose it. You lose some of it. Some of it does fade over time, but it's one of those things is you basically decide in your life, I'm going to live in a bubble.
Exactly. And then what do you do?
Yeah.
And when I realized that, like, being an international best-selling, award-winning author didn't do much for me, and it was the stories that weren't bestsellers that were the ones that pleased me to write. It was like, well, I'm going to write for me.
Yeah.
Because it's the ones that aren't bestsellers that are making me happy. So I think that was a lot of it.
No, it's fair. It's a fair question. No, I asked because I got that feeling with you that you were like, she's holding
back. Very perceptive.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like, I think a lot about if someone came up to me again and asked to turn something of mine into a screenplay again, and I was very unhappy about what they did with my screenplays.
So that's an interesting one.
It's a hard one. And
Yeah.
by the way, I'm gonna have to go here fairly soon, but yeah.
No problem. We can wrap this up really shortly. You got what, 10 more? Do you have 5-10 more minutes?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So screenplays. I got the one good thing about working for that author I worked for was I got to see how Hollywood worked. So I'm a lot less. If I get to the point. Well, no, it's not even so much that. It's the reality of the situation is I get the business end of it. I think for me, what I've learned as far as the screenplay aspect of it, it's that whole process is a unique process unto itself. I'm probably just not going to get involved in it very much. I'm going to be like, here, aren't you? It's like, nope. It's just not worth it. Like, it's just not. No. It's
awful. It's awful.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and I have so many screenplays from when I first got into professional writing, and I regret writing them so much.
See, I think, this is, so here's where I would challenge you. I have a thought for you. Make your own movies. Don't give a shit.
That is a thought for my future. I will give you that for your interview.
Yeah.
Because, I have seriously considered going into movies of some sort, whether CGI or CGI or CG.
CGI.
I don't know.
Right.
CGI.
Yes.
Or with humans.
Because
I'm not sure which, but yeah, starting a long time ago, I did consider opening my own production company, and I have considered doing it again.
So, this would be I think this is a good place to close the interview. I will challenge you to do one. Just one. On your terms. And only your terms. Because I think for you said it yourself, it's not really about the award, it's not really about how other people see it. It's about how you see it. And because it's about how you see it, I think for you would enjoy. Yes, there'd be some problems that would drive you up the freaking wall, because that movie is as much warehousing as it is creativity, and that is an interesting box for a lot of creatives to really think about. But I think in your case, if you did it once, you did it your way once, and it didn't work out, but you're happy with the result, there'd be peace of mind. If it worked out and people really liked it, it's under your terms, and it would give you an incredible bit of just just from a business savvy perspective, right? It also would give you more leverage, because now if they want to turn it into a process, you don't need them, and you can give less of a shit. And there's a certain. So I learned this not too long ago, and I've been using this as my weapon of mass destruction. If you openly really don't give a shit too much, it's really hard for anyone to control you. There's a point about that, right? It's really hard, because they can't really do anything to you if you just do what you want. I find for when you're dealing with money, to some degree relationships too, you have to have a little bit of that attitude into it. And that the reality of the situation is, most people don't respect you if you care too much openly. Doesn't mean you shouldn't care about your projects. You should. But what I mean is, because if you're dealing with somebody else, you have to play the game somewhat on their terms. But if you're doing it yourself and you make it on your own, that's just more leverage. Because now you're like, what do you have for me that will make it worth my time to work with you? Right? Sometimes it's a paycheck. And sometimes, depending on what the work is, that might be enough. Sometimes it's connections. Sometimes it's an opportunity to do something really different. For you, I think it's about the creative challenge, not necessarily so much the end result. Right?
That's really true. Because I will do pretty much anything with anyone for creative projects for the fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about the fun, and the only thing that I don't like is if it doesn't conclude. You know, as if it gets like twisted up in politics or
that's the risk of the film process with you. But the thing about it is, I think you need to try it once. I
totally agree, and I read over some of my old screenplays, and they're still good.
Yeah.
You know, when you think up from the past, and you're like, is it good? They're still good. So the problem is just the alchemical transition.
But see, that's the challenge, and I think for you, once. Because I think for you, no one wants to have someone else take the magic of something they've dreamed of doing from them in terms of a process. You got to do it under your terms. And if you don't like the process, if it doesn't work out, you've tried. And and you have a peace of mind because you did the best you could. Again, it's something I said at the very, very, very beginning of this conversation. I don't mind failure as long as I've done everything I know how to succeed.
Yeah.
All right? That's
I don't mind the first 3 movies that I made because, like, I was like a virgin when I made them. Like, it was like, I knew nothing. Like, I literally went to the library, read how to write a screenplay, and made it. And it was made to order. Like,
that's okay.
This guy was like, please write this down for me. Like, you have all these great ideas. Please just do it. Just anything, And so I did it. And then I did more because it got an honorary mention at Cannes. So
cool. Like I said, you definitely make noise. I think. Yeah, I think that's my read on you. No, that is my read on you. You don't worry about the result. Whether you become famous, whether you don't become famous, whether you're successful or you fail or any of that shit. You're happiest doing a creative project, solving creative problems, and doing a process. If there's anything on your list you haven't done, if there's anything this time should teach you, it's now or it's never. Just do it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Totally. And that's why, every year my New Year's resolution is for every project I start, I finish an old project because I hate having unfinished projects. So I will take up your challenge and probably take it further than you have challenged me and try to finish all of them.
Yeah, probably. Just do one first. Just small bite that. Small bite it first. Because the movies are a very unique challenge. And I think you'll enjoy it once, but it is a lot of work and a lot of prep.
Yeah.
And you're gonna.
And with COVID-19, it's going to be difficult.
No, impossible. You are in the right spot. The one good thing about your situation is you are in the right spot. So.
I've got a short that I wrote that I got 2nd place at a film festival for the script. And it was about zombies that they were like foot fetish zombies. And it was called Witch Doctor. And it was like it was about a woman doctor named Dr. Patience, like as in having patience. And I remember that one of the things that I won was like someone who wrote one of the X-Men movies gave me a review of the movie that I had written, and he said, you can't call it you can't have her last name be Patience, you can't name her Dr. Patience. And I was like, watch me.
Watch. Yeah, just do it. Do it your way, man. Fuck it. Life's too short.
I know, right? I was like,
yeah.
And everybody who hears it, they're like, that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
and
why
I was
not?
like, and I thought it was really funny because he wrote, I can't remember which X-Men movie it was, but it was like the worst rated X-Men.
Oh, okay.
And, I was like, no one liked your X-Men movie. I didn't say it, but I was like, no one liked your X-Men movie, man. You can't tell me what to name my character.
Yeah. We'll say that. We'll say the full conversation. He does have one out, and I'm sure it's true. His script never actually saw the frickin' screen, which is probably actually very true. But yeah.
Oh, it was a huge movie. It's an X-Men movie. It was. I wish I could remember which one it was.
Probably Last Stand.
Everyone was like just so angry about what they had done to the characters and stuff like that. But anyway, I should go.
Yeah, no, I know. I was about to wrap this up actually. So before we wrap up, there's one thing left. Promote something. Tell people how they can find you, and then we'll call it an interview.
The Arkellen Treaty is coming out. TalesFromSpace.net is the new place to find Starflight Press, and you can find it there. You can find me, Virginia Carraway Stark, everywhere. You put me in on Amazon, you put me in Google, and at Tweets by DC. You will find me there. And look for me on Facebook because I'm all over Facebook. But put my name in and you will find me.
Excellent. Hold on here. Let me help you tell your story. I offer a variety of audio services. I will narrate, I will produce, I will edit, and I will master your file so that it will be ready for Audible and Spotify. And if you don't want me to narrate your story, whether you want to do it or get someone else, I will help you find the right person for the job. All in all, I just want to help you tell your story. Let me help you. For information on my rates and services, please click the link below in the podcast description, jpantelleresco.wordpress.com for more details. And that's my conversation with Virginia Carraway Stark, ladies and gentlemen. It's, like I said, I love chatting with her. Hopefully maybe I get her back on before 500. Can you believe I'm at 413 episodes already? Well, I am going a little faster for the next 2 weeks. We're going to get to episode 420, literally, and then it'll go back to 3 a week. But it's, no marijuana tribute episodes. I promise, none. Let's talk here. So, last night I tried something a little different with my writing, and that was I got rid of my crutches. And it was interesting, like, when we write, there's a lot of, like, little things we do, like said, asked, queried. I decided that what I would do is for every time I would say something, I would do an action. Instead, I would have the characters do something in the scene, whatever the case may be, just to create movement. My God, does that work well? It's a great little technique, and I've stolen it. I stole it from Jonas Saul. So, Jonas, thank you. But the other thing I did, this is me going to the plot side of the force, is every chapter I've written up to this point has a 3-sentence outline. Just 3. The beat of the story, the imagery I kind of want to convey to describe the story, and the characters. What the characters are, like the characters like Corey is a very complicated character, but the story is incredibly simple, and I've gone back and forth on just what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and it's one of those things where I've learned, because if I really am serious about writing, I have to eliminate my crutches, and I think this is the thing about right now. I decided to relook at everything I have in my life right now. And imagine what if I didn't have it? Just took it all away. The only thing I truly need right now is a computer. And I got that. So I can do that. But the rest of it is really optional. I can make things happen. But that also means then I have to force myself to get good. And what I mean by good is I have to constantly get better at what I'm doing and treat everything, no matter how little or how much, that's worth something. The final catalyst for this was me getting an essay back from something I actually got a gig for, and I'm working on that pretty hard for us in the evening. It's because I wasn't good enough, and I deserved what I heard, and I realized that, you know what, I have to change. If I want this to work the way I want to, I have to treat everything like it's a crutch, not a crutch that I need anymore. And that's what I'm doing. So, with that all said, my challenge, if you're listening to this, is what are your crutches? What are you holding on to right now desperately? Because it's normal, it's familiar, it's safe. Because right now might be the time to throw it away. That'll do it for this episode of Just Joshing. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so in a number of different ways. You can subscribe to the podcast. I'm on practically every app you can imagine: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer. Definitely take a listen to me. I'm everywhere and anywhere, and definitely, tell people about my show. My book, Alice Zero, is coming out September 8th. It's currently available for pre-order on Amazon. Go for it. It's going to be exclusive there for 3 months, and then I'm going to do a wide launch right before Christmas. That's my plan there. Beyond that, Cloud Diver by Lance Bond and myself is currently available now as well on Amazon. Its exclusivity runs out literally in 2 days. Beyond that, my YouTube channel is Josh Pantelleresco. My Instagram and Twitter is at jpantelleresco. Come say hi. Come see what I'm doing. And beyond all that, my audiobook services are available now. I'm still looking for that one last client for September. I'm working my butt off on my current work. I'm actually going to be contacting him probably sometime this week about the tone of what I'm doing. But yeah, if you want me to narrate your book and help you tell your story, give me a shout. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Talk to you again down the road. Story time this week. My guest is Joe Compton, so definitely take a look at that. All right, guys, take care of yourselves.
Josh.